Greetings and welcome to this Two Tower Chimps video. Today we're doing this with the Pirate Lord and the Carpet of Spikes. The cross-pathing is absolute in this particular tale because this needs to be able to see camera burns and this needs to be able to hit DDTs. All we're doing right now is saving up enough money in order to afford our spike factory and put you near the very end of the track, honestly. And no, putting at the very end of the track is not a dumb spot because you are conserving the spikes in which you put on the track by default at the very end of the track, where the Pirate Lord is able to get the main majority of the pops, along with the Carpet of Spikes' passive ability of chucking out loads of spikes onto the field, so that then naturally you are able to make these spikes that last for longer have some sort of purpose behind them. Speaking of which, it is now deployed. The base tower, that is. This is what happens with the supermines when you leave them for too long on the field. They have an explosive sneezing episode. Now, people say that over the past few updates, the Pirate Lord has been getting stronger, and I do agree. But the best time that the Pirate Lord has ever been about was when its cannon frags were able to affect the target in which it initially hit. And that was how I was able to get every single pop with the Pirate Lord up to around 140 in a video I did a long time ago. I think it is 1 to 2 years ago now, but that's no longer possible because of a change to its cannon frags. It can only affect targets outside of the primary target in which it hit in the first place. But now it only does it to other targets, which means a lot of single target potential has been lost. Right, let's demonstrate this. So you see when the cannon fires out, sometimes you see smaller projectiles coming out of the explosives themselves. Those are the frags in which we are referring to. They only affect other targets in which they hit, rather than the target in which they initially hit. Hopefully that makes it understandable, but I know with my explanations I require some... I need a sheet of paper and write down my thoughts more coherently. Round 28, just like that. We're going to be upgrading our Buccaneer all the way up to the Pirate Lord before we even click any of these upgrades here. Yes, this Buccaneer is that strong in the early and mid game that we don't need to put anything on this before we upgrade this to the Pirate Lord. Although, could it be possible to do this with the Spike Storm, or sorry, Carpet Spikes being our only means of popping camera balloons? I'd rather not test that out for myself. Like, there are runs where the Carpet Spikes has been the only solo tower on the field, but I think nowadays it's not really that possible because A, the faster and even faster productions have been nerfed, and B, the ability of Spike Storm keeps taking longer and longer nowadays in order for you to chuck it out. Not cool whatsoever. Also, Monkey Pirates now enabled. Arr. Ceramics no problem against both our fire and explosiveness. I preferred it when the Pirate Lord still had its dart attack, honestly, rather than taking away its dart when you get up to the cannon ship. Regrow rainbows no problem. Camo rainbows no problem. Rainbows have a weakness to the boat. Sometimes there are two tower chimp combos that are only possible on the easiest of maps throughout the entire game, whereas those like the Glaive Lord and the Mad, I think they can be done on more than half of the maps throughout this entire game, and probably still can despite the Glaive Lord's price nerf. Reinham Mahalik, who has done a Glaive Lord and Mad 2TC on Off the Coast, is a prime example of how broken that combination is. Literally, it's a perfect synergy. The Glaive Lord just shreds through the ceramics and the Mad just annihilates the Merle class balloons, but the Glaive Lord itself is no slouch when it comes to Merle class balloons and can pop cameras with this orbiting glaive, so you got something against camo balloons all round. Okay, we can now afford the Pirate Lord. Just needed 5 more moolah on round 51. If you're going to come towards me and say that going the bottom cross path is more effective in a 2-tower chimp scenario, then I'd like to hear your opinions down in the comment sections below as to why. If you have something that can lead solo, then perhaps you can make do with the longer lifespan of each spike thrown, but I'll just rather have that guaranteed normal damage type anyways. Ryan Mahalik is a far better player at this game than I could ever be. He does some truly insane challenges on his channel. Trying to beat Buccaneer with 2500 HP is one of those examples. Round 59, done and dusted. Not wanting to waste any time because of a lone BFB. We'll just hook it in. Now the question is, what should I do for this April Fool's video? Last year I did one on a fake updates note release. In the future, I don't know, maybe I'll do a silly tier list of every balloons tuber or something, and then come out with a real tier list or something along those lines. Oh, spoiler, I've just leaked what I'm planning on doing. Or maybe I'm not even doing that and I'll do something else entirely. Perhaps I'll try and do a 2-tower chimps with a stupid tower, like the Balloons Master Alchemist or the Total Transformation. Like, the only truly viable path with an Alchemist for a 2TC is the Permabrew. Especially good on the Elite Defender and the Balloon Exclusion Zone. We do have the Spike Storm now, but it's barely going to affect our means of progressing for all this, since the Pirate Lords can pretty much solo the entire mid-game. But alas, we will press these abilities because 1. They are ready, and 2. The round next does not rely on abilities to go through that said round. But there will be rounds, like 98, in which they will be pivotal for. I say that round 98 is going to be the only ability reliant round in which, if we do not use these abilities, we will always fail. No doubt. Not a single shred of doubt. Right, I'm going to remove this BFB up here if we can. Yes, and then hook in the remaining 6 BFBs. What a good way to end round 75. Okay, round 76. Defeat all of the regrow balloons. Well, that was easy. But Flair, you're playing logs. Of course it's easy. Shut up! Round 78. Let's steal a few pops with the Spike Storm. That's actually not stealing. We are a little bit contributing towards the means of the Pirate Lord being able to pop all of these pesky ceramics on this round, in which there are a lot of them. Right, the second wave of ceramics. Come on now, come on now. There they all go. There's no way, and I repeat, there is absolutely no way in which these BFBs or these regrow rainbows will be able to go through all of this. For goodness sakes. And we are so close to the carpet of spikes, I can almost taste it. I have truly tasted it. And now we can reach up here with our spikes. Lovely. Hopefully they should still be in range somewhat to be able to reach the track when the ZMGs and the Moabs and BFBs come along this way, just to give it a bit of a tickle. Sorry, give them a bit of a tickle. Although it's more likely going to be a shred rather than a tickle. Fortified BFBs? What are super fortified ceramics? I never heard of them in round 82. Round 83, however, they spawn by default. You can't remove the super fortified ceramic from the Moab if there's no Moab to begin with, and they spawn by default. It's just what happens in the Balloons Tower Defense 6. I don't make the rules, I just follow them. Hook those in. Perhaps that was a mistake, but we still have the carpet of spikes. This is very good against mild class balloons, obviously. But it's actually a little bit better once you get carpet spikes per spike pile against ceramics. Like, I always find that the Spike Storm just really struggles against ceramics in general, whereas it feels like each spike pile is just a little bit better performing when it comes to it going up to carpet or spikes. Or maybe it's just because we're summoning more spikes. Hook reverse 2 in and destroy the rest by default using our default attacks. There we go. Again with the tickling, be able to reach some of them, but not be able to pop the little balloons. It can't reach, but maybe it can at times reach the little balloons. 89, a round that consists of nothing but fortified balloons. Although round 97 has them in greater RBE means. RBE meaning red balloon equivalence, as in like how many red balloons can you fit into that one enemy. And if you ever heard of RBS, which is different from RBE, that means red balloon seconds. That means how many seconds does it take for a red balloon to get from the start of the track to the end of the track. And it's a very nice way of being able to monitor how long it takes for a balloon to get to the end of the track. Come on, ZMGs, go away, please. Go away, please. No issues so far. Obviously, Middle Path Buccaneer is up there for one of the best towers in a two-tower chimp scenario. But obviously, there's the problem of DDTs, which your other tower has to kind of come in to be able to help, you know. Okay, round 94. Absolute shredding it right now. Use the hooks on the ZMGs by default, obviously. They always hook into the strongest opponent by default, so when DDTs come out, the hooks see them as being stronger rather than the ZMGs, which is good actually, because we do want to use them on the DDT, sorry. Okay. Round 95 should be a couple of spikes solo against all of these pesky things called purple balloons and lead balloons. Okay, DDT time. They're going to be absolutely shredded by the couple of spikes. Well, these ceramics are punching through our spikes over here. Not good whatsoever. Okay, save our hooks for when the ZOMGs spawn out. There's no need to use them if we are not in any imminent threat. And we don't need to use our abilities, sorry, until round 98. We can clear the fortified ZOMGs without needing a single use of our abilities here, but we do need to use multiple spike storm abilities in order to actually get through round 98. I can just predict it. Don't need to use any abilities on this round. Let's save them for round 98. We don't need to waste anything if we can pop them by default. If you know you can pop a round by default without using any abilities, then don't use your abilities. They may be needed for the following round. And round 97 into round 98 is a very, very good example of that. Okay, so let's use that ability, get that little bit of initial damage going. The ability usage of the laying of the field with spikes lasts a lot less time than the passive one does. But we need a second use of the ability if we're going to get through this. And that should be that. That should be that. Don't run out too quickly. There we go, round 99. This is order. This is also order. This is also a black border guide to logs, and also a way to get the 2 Tower Chimps achievement. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you thought of the video down in the comments sections below. This is a really easy 2TC, but it is constrained to only a few maps because of the fact that both the Pirate Lord and the Cobbler Spikes in their own ways have been nerfed. Ninja Kiwi doesn't know where they are at with the Pirate Lord, so they keep going up and down when it comes to its buffs or nerfs. So in this case, being able to have 6 hooks is a massive buff. Being able to pull in 2 ZMGs at a time, which is very good, and that was how we ended the run. Just let the spikes pop the DDTs, and then from there your hooks can solo the ZMGs left inside the bad, and the rest is history. But the achievement has been done. We have black bordered logs. I'm not going to put that in the title, by the way. It's like, well, anybody could black border logs. What do you mean? The casual person who doesn't play this game extensively may not be able to do chimps. And that is a guide to both a black border on a map and get the 2 Tower Chimps achievement. thank you all so much for watching. This might be the last video of update 46.3. We'll be getting the Rogues Legend DLC probably on the Wednesday. That's the 5th of February. Perhaps could be later. I don't know. I was waking up this morning thinking that every single new theoretical 2TC has already been done by the most hardcore of the community, only to find out that the update has not even been released. And somebody put out a troll update 47 notes, which was quickly removed by a moderator on Reddit. Hilarious. Thank you all so much for watching and take care of yourselves, everybody.